Suck a look at you.
You're listening to the Jersey Tuck Podcast.
Hello out there, it is March 10th, and you're listening to the Jersey Tuck Podcast. I just had to cut to us a bit early there, just because I wanted to capture Josh on the pre-show, his pre-show expression. We are available on Spotify, YouTube, not Twitch this week. Always follow us on Twitter to keep updated and follow us on those platforms. This past week has been a big week, content-wise, for Jersey Tuck. We had 2 isolated videos from last week's pod, Cool Tech, which was great, and TJT All-Star GMs, which was also quite a bit of fun. Big chunk of our podcast. It was huge.
Yeah,
we went on for a while on that one.
And 2, you know what it is.
ooh, crack that pack.
Yes, that's not
Yeah.
right. Or that's not. You didn't hear me wrong. Not 1, but 2 crack that packs.
Oh man,
We had me opening a new Top Shot pack, which was pretty exciting. I got to be honest, I had a lot of fun opening that. Even though it's just 3 moments, it's really exciting. And Mitch dropped an absolute bomb of a crack that pack video, which ended up being close on a half hour, I think. Once we were all done with it, it was like, just packed.
Quick half hour though. It was
crack that pack.
I didn't realize how long it took me though. Like, cause when I'm opening stuff like that when it passes, maybe I probably fly through it a bit more when I'm opening it, not recording. But
No,
still, when it's
you
that
had
half hour.
Oh yeah.
You're savoring it though.
You had excellent commentary on a lot of, and there's some good stuff in there. I watched the whole thing, obviously, and I don't know if you wanted to mention some of the interesting things. Don't spoil any big things for people that want to take a look at it afterwards. But you want to mention anything at all that you got? Because I got a couple things I want to.
I don't know if you you get some interesting ones, some bit of everything outside of hockey as well. Some fun stuff. It's a trip around the world.
Yeah. I gotta say, I did want to say it was an amazing rookie class.
I know.
Like I was like, wow, man, every one of those are like superstars now.
I know. I was like,
for those who didn't see it, it's 2015, 2016 champs to upper deck hobby box, right, Mitch?
Yeah.
Connor McD,
Connor McDee's year, Jack Eichel's year. Didn't get any of the ones I was looking for, but I mean,
Mitch Murray.
It was Mitch Murray. But man, I just kept getting rookies, because I didn't realize how loaded that product was with just giving out rookie cards kind of deal. But I think maybe one of all, and I was getting a rookie probably almost every pack, and I think maybe 2 out of all the rookies I got didn't really make the cut in the NHL. The rest are all solid players. So
yep,
kind of shows how
deep draft,
cool stuff
class.
there. Hey, you didn't mention
Jacob Delarose.
Absolute pristine poll. You got a John Moonlight in there. So Mitch pulled a rugby player, was it?
Yeah, it was a Canadian team rugby player. So it's the weird thing about champs, man. You can get I don't even know how to describe it. It's such a weird product, dude. And you can get everything there. I saw one thing. I was looking up some cards the other day, and you can get a Brett the Hitman Hart card.
Oh man, amazing!
I'm stoked, ready to get that.
Is he doing the sharpshooter? That would be amazing.
No, it's
or is he
him
just
in-
holding the belt?
No, it's not even that. It's him in
put the glasses.
casual streetwear.
What? What's the point of that?
It's just Bret Hart chilling.
It's him.
Yeah.
Yeah, John
Greasy
Moonlight.
locks.
What a name.
I know, what a name.
We gotta hit up John Moonlight.
See if we can get him on the pod.
Yeah. And
An
just
interview.
yeah, it's do you know any of my stats? No, just like your name. Pulled you from the champs pack.
Yeah.
One of my other favorites from the hobby box was your pull of deep dish pizza.
Oh yeah. Josh is so confused because he hasn't seen it.
Yeah.
There's no way to describe it unless
You gotta
you've
watch
seen
this
it.
Crack That Pack, Josh.
I'm so intrigued. I need to watch it.
There's-
I've been
like
living
I
under
said,
a rock.
Champs got everything. They got
Yeah.
food.
My
fish.
favorite-
Deep dish pizza.
My favorite was all the fishiness that was happening with that
Yeah.
pack.
Ooh, there's
The
teas.
fishiness.
Nice Canadian landscape.
Yeah.
Yep. I gotta say, I like how on the, I think it was the deep dish pizza, it said developed sometime in the 1940s and 50s.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed with Champs. Hey, if
That
you're
was
gonna
a
put
bit-
deep dish on your card, get the research right. Don't give me a 10-year span. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, give me a single
Somewhere
year.
in the century.
And one, not a big spoiler, but I know it's Mitch's, one of Mitch's favorite players. You pulled a Pierre Forsberg, didn't you, Mitch?
Yeah, that was cool. Like it was just a kind of like a base a veteran pull
Yeah.
throwback card, but it was Forsberg and it was actually a Quebec one in his Nordiques
Oh yeah.
uniform. So that was a cool looking card.
Cool looking
You don't
card,
see
yeah.
that too often. I like that card. That was pretty sweet.
That's cool.
I gotta say, I
Nice.
actually like the look of the packs and just like the weird looking cards too. Like,
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think it
It's-
has a cool look to it.
it
Yeah,
does
I-
definitely. The only thing is like it's got the really old school retro, like the OPG, like I was saying in
Oh,
the
yeah.
video, the cardboard almost kind of style.
Yeah, I was
It's
just gonna
got-
say the same thing. I love that actually.
Yeah, but it's cool. Some people love that product, and some people are not so huge on it. But I mean, the more you get into it, actually, it's a pretty fun product.
There's something really satisfying when you crack that box and you made it into like the store
Yeah.
display.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
satisfying.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say too. It was your fat pack of tops. What's the name of that one? Tops.
Tops 2020,
Top shot?
2021. I think it was just 2021 Series 1 MLB. Is that the
okay.
one you're talking about?
Yeah. So like the fat pack. I'm not gonna like you said, I'm not gonna give anything away, but like the near the end, the hits. I'll just say I forgot to ask you, but the autos. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna say who and all that stuff, but were they on card, like legit on card autos?
No, they weren't.
Oh, they weren't. Oh,
I had to
okay.
check the Reddit afterwards. I was a bit disappointed because like I actually did some like research pre-recording to because I mentioned in the video, like none of us are super familiar with like the draft class of the MLB and stuff like that. So like one of them was on the list of dudes to look for, and it got me thinking like, what the hell is the point of a freaking autograph, like a duped autograph? Who wants that?
That one threw me off too because Upper Deck hockey does have one that does that as well. It's called MVP.
Right.
But it's just kind of right across the card, and you can kind of get it in like goil foil. It kind of just looks like a part of it. You can tell the difference.
Yeah.
But with those ones, they literally had like a specified spot that looks like they would
Yeah.
have people signed to and meant to. It was kind of it really throws you off.
And I'll tell you this too, like I got the same card, but it was that particular player, and that box wasn't there. So there's a card like that, and a card with a autograph panel. So now it was only one player one Reddit user that responded to me, but I'm gonna take his word for it. That's not real. Obviously, I didn't beat it up or throw it out or anything.
No.
But,
If
Start
you
playing
use
walls with it, right?
Yeah.
put in your
Spokes.
the
Tire
spokes.
spoke. Yeah.
make
But,
my bike sound like a
um,
dirt bike.
One thing usually to look for, Alex, if it legit is just look on the back. You'll usually say, "Congratulations, you've received
Ah,
an auto." Blah blah blah. Then signed
gotcha.
by a authoritative kind of deal.
Yeah, and that user said that like you usually see like Topps certified certification of legitimacy, that kind of thing on it
Yeah.
somewhere. So
Yeah.
that's a shame, but it was fun, and the Top Shot pack was really fun. Really, go watch that video. That's the good one.
And crap that pack.
And crack that pack, and like you're gonna get those new videos all the time. We're gonna be hunting down packs like something else. Who knows?
I
what
got
we'll get.
another box on the way of a hockey product now coming soon. Should have another one soon.
I gotta say one thing that I forgot. I had I called Maverick, the store that we mentioned on a previous podcast about basketball cards, and he actually offered. He was like, I could put your name down. I was like, sure, that'd be great. got a text today. He's like, hobby box of 2020, 2021 NBA cards came in. $400. I'm like, it's like,
Oh no!
It's like, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. It's just out of my price range. Like,
It's
by a lot.
crazy. It's all the
hobby.
rage now, man. It's completely exploded. Like, I'm even hearing it on TSN radio. Like, they have
really?
they're talking about it for like a half hour at lunch.
Wow.
Yeah.
But it is getting big.
Like, yeah, it's insane.
Let's get to some of the bigger topics this week. One of the ones I wanted to get to right off the bat. It was kind of a news story, I think broke today, actually. The XFL and the CFL are to discuss a partnership. So, little brief, the CFL is the Canadian Football League. The XFL is a very treasured heritage league that's been around for a while. Has a decent bit of viewership, but I know it has some Canadian tax money funding it as well. It's big in Canada, obviously not big in everywhere else, but it has players from a lot of different places. The XFL was created by Vince McMahon, right, Mitch? I believe.
I think so.
Or
yeah,
ran by him at some point.
Or ran by him, and it was his brainchild, I guess, probably. But he was the running guy behind it.
And it's like rated R football, and not for necessarily. Actually, if you put WWE personality into the NFL, I guess that's what you get.
That's exactly what it is, to be honest with you. It's like it's NFL with theatrics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Celebrate those touchdowns without getting penalties.
Yeah, exactly.
That was the idea behind it too when it first came around. I think the second reincarnation of it that was supposed to take off, then COVID kind of killed it. I think that was essentially supposed to be just a more professional vibe behind it.
Right.
More or less theatrics and everything. But when it first got on the go, that was definitely a when you call your league the Extreme Football League, I mean, you got to be extreme, I guess.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
what I mean. I'm actually not so familiar with it, and I'm really curious, like, what the rule differences are that make it extreme football.
And I think I remember actually hearing that they were similar to the CFL, so perhaps that's why they're opening up a dialogue there. Like 3 downs. It's probably something like that, just to make it quicker, more entertaining.
I think so.
Yeah, I could see it going faster, but there's a whole aspect of the game that gets
I shouldn't say
pretty
more
much eliminated. Yeah, there's like a whole aspect of the game that gets eliminated with CFL football. Like, you pretty much have no running game.
Yeah.
So, like, the way that it is with the split line of scrimmage, like, I don't know how I feel about it. Like, we'll see. We'll see if they can still manage to keep that extreme.
I've said to you guys off the pod before, like, I watch the Grey Cup every year. It's fun. Obviously not this year because there is none, but I have fun with it. It's anyways, the Rock, he teamed up with business partner Danny Garcia, not the boxer, and Redbird Capital. Oh, that's the company. I thought that was dude's name. My bad.
Sick name.
To purchase the league out of bankruptcy court for $15 million. $15 million back in August.
Pocket change for the Rock. Pocket change.
So
Yeah,
still in the hands of.
he makes a fraction of that in the movie, but
Yeah, true. Still in the hands of wrestlers, or former wrestlers in this case. So you would assume that the vision is still there. The same vision is still there. But yeah, it's in good hands, I guess. I don't know much about The Rock's business acumen, but
so if he's going for like CFL with partnership, is he just hoping to like expand the NFL and have like that whole Canadian team as well?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
expand the XFL?
Yeah, get a few because where was he? Where did he was in CFL, right? Like what was
no,
Yeah.
he
was
I thought it was NCAA.
He was at some point.
NCAA.
No,
Yeah.
he did play NCAA football.
Yeah.
I think he got caught by
Miami.
NFL teams, and he got caught by CFL teams as well.
Okay.
He had an injury though too. Didn't that stop him from?
Maybe a little bit, but he always used to joke how he
speculating.
couldn't even cut it in the CFL. Like,
Okay, because I think I remember that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got drafted by the Stampeders and cut less than a season.
Okay.
So yeah, and it's nothing has been announced exactly in terms of specifics what they're going to talk about or like what the partnership is about. It could very well be that, Fred, I guess, like bringing it, like forming a identifying the best Canadian market for an XFL team. That could be something. And I guess if the XFL had any previous, I don't even know, because I would assume
like
the
it.
CFL was bigger than the XFL, but who knows?
I like it, man, because I think about, okay, guys, when we were in high school, we never had like NFL. Like you never had you had rugby, right? We had rugby teams in NFL, but I recently
in-house
heard
sports, yeah.
in-house sports. But I've recently heard that I don't know what school it was, probably Holy Cross or something, but apparently like they actually had like a football team, and I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. NTV News boys or something.
Really?
Yeah, like they were trying to establish, and there's this. I can't remember who it was, and he really wants to establish getting a football team going. And I was like, man, this is awesome. Like, build it, man. I'm all down for it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just curious about how the XFL CFL thing. What would it be? Would it be an expanded league, like an NHL style, where you have teams in Canada and the States just going around? You expand the league. I mean, CFL is not a big league, or would it be even maybe something along the lines of I don't know, I would say friendly, but or some kind of like, you know, tournament or champion versus champion kind of deal, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like what like soccer does a lot.
Yeah.
Where it's like you're in another league, like when you're finished the top of your league, you're in another league that plays off with a bunch of other tops of leagues. You know what I mean? Like Champions League and whatnot.
I guess if
I don't know, I think
it'd
be really cool. Yeah, like and you were saying just then, Mitch, like, and that made me think about it. Like I think like the CFL to just like play into like adding teams that are from the States part of the XFL would be pretty huge too. Because I think the CFL does kind of struggle a little bit to really kind of like, you know, like broadcast itself and whatnot. Like, it's decently like it's a little popular here, but it's not blowing the
I think it's
doors
popular
open in Canada.
In pockets. Saskatchewan, yes. Toronto, yes.
Gate driven kind of thing.
Yes.
Like, and I think maybe they're thinking about it that way. Maybe they're thinking like the XFL brings you kind of like an American audience. Yeah. Which just alone with football, like you're talking about a country that cares so much about high school and college football. Like it's just like it's through
more
the roof.
Than professional.
Yeah.
Well,
college football is just up there with NFL almost.
Yeah.
Right? So.
And I was going to say, Josh, too, a big thing with like the XFL and CFL season is it's purposely lined up. Well, part of it might be weather driven for Canada, but that it's not competing against the NFL. I mean, later in the season it does, but like XFL was purposely supposed to start immediately after the NFL finishes up, so you know they're not competing with ratings, because obviously they lose that battle. But
never win,
like you said, they're so diehard for football in the States. Anything football, as long as it's football, they'll probably watch it if it's being streamed to them and it's some kind of legitimate form of the thing. I've heard of Americans watching CFL football in the summer because there is no other football. I guess because the college football season's done and everything else football season's done everywhere else. So they get their fill football-wise that they'll watch some CFL football.
Like I'll put it this way: imagine if you could watch like the NHL season were to end, and then like right after that KHL season starts, but you could watch it in your time zone.
Yeah,
because it's right there, right? That the reason why we don't watch like Russian hockey is because it's on the other side of the world. Like it's like 12 hours later, you can't watch it. You can't watch it in the middle of the night.
Exactly.
But like that, like it's kind of the same thing. Imagine if like that season ends and then you go like, I got my hockey fix. Like we always talk about the dog days of summer. As hockey fans, you're like, man, this is killing me. August sucks, man. And you like the beginning of September, it's like, oh my god, like it just drags on. Just want hockey to go.
I wish they do like because is there like a G League in the summer for basketball, Alex, or
the G League?
Yeah. Like I wish the NHL would do something that too, some kind of like 3-on-3 league.
My bad. Summer league. They do have a summer league. Yeah,
summer league. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, so like I don't know, NHL should do that too, and it doesn't have to be the best players. There's maybe some players like 3-on-3 league. I mean, it's going to be less contact and stuff like that. Probably just more goal scoring thing, but you get some players in there.
With the summer league, what it is, it's almost always just most of the players that aren't the starting five. So you know what? There's something cool about that. Seeing especially if you got some assets that you're working on building, seeing them take starting positions and seeing how they compete against other guys and seeing them grow, there's appeal to that for sure. I enjoy it when I watch it.
Yeah, like that'd be pretty cool. You can use that in like a NHL farm system,
Yeah.
right? To promote like, the younger players coming up in draft picks and whatnot, because they're doing overhauls on all that now. Like, and this is kind of like more today's news, but the talk of changing the draft lottery again. Like they're constantly changing that. Like, what if now like maybe COVID changes everything regarding like junior hockey, because you're seeing a true struggle in junior hockey just surviving because of not being able to play. That maybe like, that'll move in that direction. You kind of get like the possibility of like summer league stuff. Because like you said, Mitch, that'd be pretty sick. Like you got like your NHL season, and then summer comes around, you got like 3-on-3 like mini season. That's all your prospects, right?
Yeah.
Each team has like a team of prospects. It'd be wicked.
You probably get some good money out of that, and you get to put some extra money into players' pockets that probably don't make that much money throughout their career. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. More exposure and more opportunity for coaches to see if those players deserve more opportunities, really.
Exactly.
Outside of practice, right? Because you're actually competing against other teams.
Yeah.
Practice.
Practice?
Talk about practice?
Practice.
We're talking about practice. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
We had that sound
Not the
drop
game I
on-
love.
Not the game.
But
Not the game. We had that sound drop on previous iterations of shows. That's great. Now, I should have said right off the bat, we are down a man this week. We do wish him the absolute best. He'll be back next week. But the thing about the thing about the TJT,
No, I'm kidding.
the thing about the TJT podcast is we can be down a man and still have an all-star lineup.
That's true. That's
how it goes.
I see where you're going with this.
And speaking of all-star lineups, on the last
Brilliant
show,
segue.
thank you. If you saw probably on YouTube, 4 of us last week drafted a team out of the pool of all-stars. This was before, I believe. I think it was before LeBron and KD chose their final lineups. We knew that they were the captains, but it was before they chose their lineups. I think. I'm not positive.
No, you're right.
Anyways, we all chose teams, as you can see on the All-Stars YouTube video. And what I did was actually a little fun thing. Before the show, I tallied up points, assists, and rebounds for each of the teams. So we'll see. We'll see how each of the teams fared. Now, obviously, they won't make complete sense because the assists won't line up with the points and stuff like that. Because it's a mix of different teams there. But let's see here now. Who will I start with?
I know somebody got the MVP.
This is fun.
I don't know who. I'm pretty positive.
Let's see here now. I'll start. Oh, and one thing I should mention too. We drafted a 6-man. So in every single case, except for me, they didn't get any points. It didn't really matter with me. Mike Conley didn't really do much in the game anyways. So, because we drafted a 6-man that wasn't in the All-Star pool, but Mike Conley got called up. Anyways.
No, that's perfect, though. I think that counts for you 100%.
So, that was...
Because you just, nailed the pick.
That was a little interesting wrinkle there. Now, some of our players sat. Some had more than others sitting, which I'll get to as I read out the teams. So, we'll start with Josh. Josh had LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, Nikola Jokic, Damian Lillard, Donovan Mitchell, Christian Wood.
Ooh, solid team.
So he had one sitting, which was Christian Wood. So he did good. All of his players were healthy, technically, because Christian Wood was not an All-Star this year. For rebounds, he got the, as the no dunks guys would say, he got the big beef with the 24 rebounds. 24 rebounds.
Solid.
Assists, 22. Pretty good. Points, 65. Next up, we have Tyrell's team. Tyrell went for if you saw the video, a different strategy, kind of a meme strategy. His intent was to have his one shooter, Steph Curry, surrounded by the tallest you can absolutely establish for a lineup.
A tower.
And literally
The
have
wall.
them circle Steph Curry. You can't get at him if you circle him. There might be something in the rule book about that somewhere, but who knows? That's Tyrell's strategy, and it's genius. So we have Steph Curry, Ben Simmons, Rudy Gobert, Zion Williamson, Julius Rando, and Taco Fall. So Taco Fall was obviously his sixth man that he drafted, and I mean Taco Fall did not make the All-Star game. He had 2 sitting because Ben Simmons was out with COVID, or contact tracing rather, and his totals were. Now this is the interesting thing. He did not win the rebound game. He had 14 rebounds.
What?
Yeah. Assists 7.
Wow.
Now,
His technique is not sounding good right now.
That makes sense. The assist numbers make sense, but the rebounding really surprised me. Point total 52 with 2.
Okay.
He had 2
So-
sitting. So
you're saying that I destroyed Tyrell's silly
You
coaching strategy.
it's like as soon as they blew the whistle, or as soon as they did the tip off with our cool little machine that we came up.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Watch that video on Cool Tech with the Jersey Tuck YouTube channel. But as soon as they did the tip off, they definitely blew the whistle. It's like illegal strategy. And it's like, oh, there it goes out the window. All right, so next up, it was my team. Had Joel Embiid, James Harden, Jason Tatum, Chris Paul, Paul George, Mike Conley. And we were laughing last week because everyone was saying, and it makes total sense, man, that's personalities on our team. And you know what? If that team would not last a year, if they had to play a year each other, like Chris Paul, James Harden, Joel Embiid, Paul George, I'm looking at now. Whoo! That's not
A lot of
healthy in the locker room.
personality. Yeah.
I have one player sitting, and like I said, it was, or no, I didn't say this, but it was Joel Embiid because of the same contact tracing as Ben Simmons. Rebounds 17, assists
Not bad.
31,
Ooh.
points 68.
Oh.
Oh.
Now keep in mind, no wait, we both have the same amount sitting. Okay, so last, but certainly not least, was Fred. Fred had 3 players sitting.
Yeah, I did.
He had. Now, this is not really, it's not his fault because Anthony Davis he picked and he's out of the game. Kevin Durant was out of the game, and Fred VanVleet was his 6-man pick.
But
So rebounds 12, assists 15,
bad.
points 69.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thanks, Giannis.
And he had 3 players sitting, and he won points wise with a 69. You can't make it up.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah.
You can't make it up. So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. That was
Giannis finished with how many? 30 something, I think.
Giannis won MVP. He had 35.
35, yeah, right.
I could be wrong, but I think that was the highest point total. One of the other standout stats. Let's see here.
Was it Beal? I'm trying to remember.
Chris Paul had 16 assists and 8 rebounds. Chris Paul had 8 rebounds.
He was killing it.
It's solid.
So a few of us watched some of the proceedings of the All-Star evening. It's not All-Star weekend, so that's always weird for me to say. You all right, John?
Yeah, right over there.
So first off, we had the skills competition, and I mean, spoiler for something that's coming in the future, but I think we all had more fun watching the skills competition than we did watching the dunk competition.
100%.
Yeah.
It was riled up.
Oh man.
Except
And it was quick. It was like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That's it.
I think the only disappointing one was Luca didn't even decide to take off his warm up here.
Yeah,
He didn't want to be there.
I think most of us had picks too, just for the fun of it, because it's very hard to predict those things and very rarely do you get them right. But I picked Luca, and in brackets I posted, I have this gut feeling about Sabonis, and quote me because it's there. And turns out the boner won. Who did everyone pick?
I picked Luca as well.
Yeah.
I picked CP3.
Chris
Yeah.
Paul was a good pick, and I think Luka was a good pick too, right?
Yeah, I know, but they both shanked it. Chris Paul kind of choked, and Luca just didn't give a shit.
He missed the layup.
Yeah, he missed the layup.
Yeah,
I blame Shaq for putting that money down and causing him to get nervous.
What was it? 25.
I feel like he might have been kind of buzzed or something.
Probably.
Like, I wouldn't be surprised.
They probably all were.
Yeah, but like, yeah, Lucas still had his warm-ups on, so he was
He
not.
didn't even take his jacket off.
He was not prepared at all.
It reminds me of that King of the Hill episode when Hank had an opportunity to win money for throwing a football at a Dallas Cowboys game into like this like mock beer can. It was a promotion halftime.
Yep.
It was either if he did it himself, he won a large amount, or he could opt to have a former Dallas Cowboy player, legend throw. And you get less if he does it, but I guess it's a bit more guaranteed because he's an ex-pro football player, legend. So he's like, he turns to his wife and he says, "Our son's going to college," and he gives his son, he gives the I can't remember who the player was, but it gives him the football, the throw it in, and he doesn't even take off his leather jacket to throw, and he shakes it. That's what that reminded me of.
Yeah. It was laughable, and Twitter was obviously chirping hard on him. I think someone asked him about it afterwards. He says, "I didn't warm up." It's like, yeah, no shit, Luca. But you know what? Everyone loves you, so it's cool. It's fine. And he was my pick and Fred's pick. So yeah. I can't remember. I think Tyrell might have picked Luca as well, actually.
No, he picked CP3 too, didn't he? Wasn't there like 2 for CP3?
It was either CP3 or Luca, one of the two.
Oh, okay. So
next up, we had a 3-point contest. I loved it. I thought it was great. The new Mountain Dew. What is it called? Mountain Dew.
Yeah, Mountain Dew. That's right.
What do they call the ball specifically? I don't know. The juicy ball.
The
Dew ball.
The Dew ball. But yeah, that one's worth 3, and it's out further. So there's a little wrinkle in the game. I think it's been there for a couple of years. My prediction was Zach LaVine. I think everyone else was Steph. You know, it makes total sense.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to be the hot take guy.
Yeah.
I thought Zach LaVine was going to light it up because his first All-Star game and that kind of stuff. But man, Steph.
No, the veteran presence was there. He's a legend. He's the GOAT of 3-pointers. So.
Oh yeah.
Connolly gave him a run for his money though.
And he looked really good. He looked really good.
That was such a good finish.
See, that was a dagger in my heart. I gotta say.
Wasn't it like 31-30? Was that the fun?
It was separated by 1 point. I know that.
Yeah,
much.
I think it was 31-30.
I thought it was like 26-25 for some reason. I don't know why. Or 28-27, I think. Because he beat him on the final 2.
It was the
final
final ball that decided.
Yeah, it was the money ball that he won him with. That was just excellent.
Yeah, it broke my heart. Hey, I mean, for those listening, can't see obviously, but I got that Mike Conley All-Star picture as my background now because I was just
love it.
So pumped to see him there. I love
that beard though. That beard though, eh?
And he's like the nicest dude, the hardest worker in the NBA. It was just really good to see him there. I was happy, and of course, you saw DeMar DeRozan during the week, like grumbling as soon as it happened too. He made some sort of comments like, "It's all a joke." It's like, dude, we're talking about like dudes that were like called up because, you know, like sub-ins and like stuff like that. Like, why are you so mad? That
question, and and this is kind of just because I haven't looked really into it. Maybe if you answer it.
Yeah.
But should have Jamal Murray been there?
Jamal Murray was incredible in the bubble last year, but he's had a bit of an off year. I feel like if he started off a bit better. But yes, like he's in the conversation absolutely for like dudes that should be subbed in.
I thought he was having a bit of a better year than that, but
he's had a few solid games, right? And then
maybe that's what I'm thinking of more.
The bubble, he was
insane in the bubble.
Yeah, he was incredible. He's still going to be a really good player. It's just whatever it was about the start of the season, he just didn't have it. Did anyone see Giannis's reaction to when one of the press guys read out Team LeBron to him?
I don't think I've seen that.
I didn't see this.
There's a video that I had there. Let's see if I can just play the audio.
I want to hear it. Yeah.
Let's see. Pulling it up here on Twitter.
Number 1 pick, Team LeBron.
Number 1 pick?
Yeah. Man, so Man, you went to Team LeBron, looking forward to the All-Star break, or just I don't even know if you saw the team yet, but you was the number one pick.
No, I haven't gotten my phone. Do I get a hat? Do I get something like? Do I gotta wear a suit now?
Do I get
First,
hats?
bro?
Okay, so it's you and LeBron, obviously, and then Steph, Luka, and Jokic.
That's a starting five?
Yes.
Yeah, it's over, guys. Me, LeBron, Luka, Jokic, and Steph.
Yes.
Man, that's a good starting five. That's a good starting five.
And it's funny because during the scene, he's just eating a chicken wing. Looks like the most cheerful. He's the most cheerful presence ever.
That
Oh man, I love it. I love
that
it.
just adds to it. But you gotta love like that little bit of humility though, like with the team. Like that's just kind of being like, yeah, like that's awesome.
But
Like, just throwing it to the other guys.
at the same time, that is probably, man, that got to be one of the most well-rounded, balanced
Oh, yeah.
starting fives.
It does sound really balanced.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and I think that was people's reaction right away. It's like what do you think of KD? Like you literally like let him have everyone that like is the best of that position. It was a weird. KD's team was very weird. I don't even know what he was doing. Ooh, Josh has cake for those
have a
watching on
cake.
video.
It's a birthday cake.
The birthday cake.
My
Whose birthday
favorite
is it?
No one.
No one's birthday, but it looked like a birthday cake.
My favorite part of the that little interview there was or answer there was do I get a hat?
Yeah, I
Do
died.
I get the hat?
Do I have to wear a suit?
It can also be a hat.
It could also be a hat.
Let's see. What do we got next here? Next up, obviously, was first it was the first half of the All-Star game, but then it was the dunk contest.
Oh yeah.
Oh, everyone's favorite.
So some of the guys here would like to discuss their thoughts on the direction and fate of the dunk contest. Is that right, man?
My opinion is I don't think it's as doom and gloom as the NHL Breakaway Skills Challenge, but
Right.
I mean, I think is eventually going to get there because a big part of a dunk contest is coming up with original ideas. If you are ripping off guys' previous dunks, you're not going to score as well, especially if you don't do it as well as someone who maybe do it as well as someone who did it before. And so originality, it's going to be tougher and tougher to come up with ideas, and there's a lot of pressure and a lot of I don't know. It's I don't know. It's going to be. It's probably why you don't see a lot of big stars do the dunk contests because they don't want to be honest with you. And that's what happened with the NHL. I mean, it gets to the point where the NHL is just people ran out of ideas on how to keep it going and keep it entertaining, and they just didn't know what to do. And it got to the point where the guys just dreaded being part of the competition because they get anxiety of trying to figure out what they're going to do, and that's what they spend the whole build up for.
It hits an apex, right? Like there was like you could go like with the classic ones, like the NBA dunk
Zach
contest,
Levine,
like the
Gordon.
Jordans and whatnot, and the Vince Carter, right? Like all that.
2016
Like, when it was
with
amazing.
Gordon and Levine.
But that's what I was gonna say. It comes back down, and then you get to a new point where like that was just amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know where you go past 2016 where it's more innovative than that. You know what I mean? Like they were doing stuff where you're like most people can't do that. Like, and they weren't even like the star guys in the game.
Yeah.
Like
It's
Gordon
so funny
and Levine,
thinking
you know what
back
I mean?
now. It's so funny thinking back now because like looking at, Gordon looks pretty much as he did, but Levine's after putting on like a lot of muscle and like he's gotten so much. He's an all-star. He's an all-star this year. It's just it's funny to see the development of them. And I agree though with the creativity aspect of it. And like you said, Mitch, it's stressful. Like taking on that job, like especially if like during your performance you can't pull off one of them. You got to reach deeper into your bag to find something that will get you further into the competition. So you got to have at least 5 dunks prepared that you think are moderately creative.
But that's what I'm thinking too. Like they've hit the apex. Like you're not going to go beyond that without like risking like crazy injury or something.
Right.
Like they've gone that far, and like and just to kind of parallel that right before, sorry to cut you off, Mitch, but like to parallel it to the NHL, it's almost the same thing, but it went more in a gimmicky sense. Like it got to a point where it's just like, okay, now I'm just gonna be Super Kane and wear like sunglasses and a Superman cape, and do this because we're running out of ideas here. You know what I mean?
And if I could jump in, just for a sec,
the mini stick, you know?
Jump in just for a sec. Sorry to cut you off, Josh, but like the what was it, Simon's? You watched the whole thing, Fred? I think maybe, or at least one of you guys watched the whole thing. It was the mini Nerf ball net, and it was
yeah.
And he was like,
oh yeah.
When he set that up, I was like, what's he gonna do? This like, is he gonna throw it through the net and then, or like on top of the net and then catch a rebound off the mini one, or what's he gonna do?
He's like, nah, I'm just gonna jump really high.
And what was the last one? He
tried to kiss the rim.
The kiss of the rim. Yeah,
and there's so many memes about that. It's like that's the style point that they were going for. It's like, did he kiss it? Oh my god, watch the replay. Did he kiss it? It's like, what? Like, so what if he did?
Okay, so my big beef too is the actual judging system, which is the most stupid thing ever. It's just like 9. And you're like, oh my god, if this dunk was done back in '97, how can you give this guy a 9? I think they got to be more like
the judging makes no sense. It's purely
the judging is stupid.
It's purely to get known celebrities or former players in on the fun. That's all the judging is, and like it's always been like that. So like, and
why
that's
don't
why.
they just let? I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say that's like that's why Aaron Gordon got robbed twice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because D Wade gave him 9s on like the most amazing dunk people have ever seen in their lives.
And then he was bragging that the new rule system, because when it comes down to the final 2, it's just they don't vote; they just choose one or the other.
Yeah.
So he was calling it the D Wade rule during the broadcast.
Why don't they just let like the dunkers like just do their first dunk, and then they actually just vote on the player or something like that instead of the whole number thing? Because and then like another vote should be fan voting. So you can have like Shaq and fucking Wilkins and all these dunk and like whatever, and then have a fan vote, and then everyone votes on the players.
Yeah. I think Fred, like I think you're on the right track there. I think honestly, just get rid of the whole like player number vote. You know, just do fan voting because that's all the All-Star game's for.
And that's actually a decent idea too.
Purpose other than being fan vote, like it's all about the fans, right?
That's true.
So
there's a technology for even like people in the arena to vote. So like you could do that. And like just one more thing, like Fred said, even if you picked a winner out of the dunkers, so it's like the judges, what they do is like, okay, Gordon won that one, Levine won that one, and whoever has the most out of that way there's no like there's no
48 for just this dunk. 48. You're like, okay, cool. All right.
And like ties can be good in that specific matchup there, but like for everyone else, it's just like, what are you really pulling out of your bag to compete with to go tit for tat with another dunker? Yeah.
And just
maybe they should just add trampolines and shit. Like, why don't they get a little bit more creative?
Just make it slam ball.
Yeah.
Make it slam ball.
Slam ball trampoline. Add some rollerblades in it. Like.
But just to touch back on the fan voting thing, I'm pretty sure that's for the NHL's skills breakaway competition. I don't even know what it's called anymore. I think that was that's what they had last going off was fans voting for their favorite.
Oh, cool.
Their favorite one. It's just the thing is I was saying when we were comparing the two, the breakaway competition versus the dunk competition it's tough. It is tougher for the NHL because you're shooting on a goalie who literally has to do nothing or get out of the way for the breakaway to look legitimate, and it's something you could never actually do in a game. So there's just so many things that I don't know, it just looks so forced and bad for NHL. I mean, at least in the NBA, it's like, you know, there's possibilities of some of those dunks kind of being pulled off, you know what I mean? And it's just between you and the net. There's like,
you don't have Rudy Gobert defend. Now that would a poster competition.
That would be pretty sick, actually.
Yes,
that would be pretty cool.
Just have Gobert and like, I don't know, all your best centers in the league just trying to go up and contest it. Ooh, that'd be good.
Why don't they do like one-on-ones? Like just a straight off
sick too.
Or like even throwing the old classic 21s, man. Like, come on.
Yeah. I think that's what it is. I think that's what it is. You gotta break.
Bump like
yes. Do an all-star bump game.
All-star bump
The guys from No Dunks brought that up.
Celebrity bump game, and I'd watch it. I would I used to love
Yeah,
seeing, like,
especially
during
celebrity
lunch
one.
watching Bump. Oh my god.
The best thing in recent years the NHL did was introduce 3-on-3. Like that's exactly what they got to do. They have to just like change it, break from tradition. This like the same thing that you got going on every year because it's traditional. Just move away from that. Do that. Like do like a 21s.
It's funny.
Do like a bump. Like, you know what I mean? Like just throw it like we're doing it this year and then change it for the next year.
Yeah, and if
Create
it doesn't
that hype,
work, if
right?
it's not like if it doesn't create buzz, just try something new, like you said. It's funny, Fred. I never even thought about that. It seems so simple. It's like one-on-ones. Like that'd be great.
One-on-ones. It's like Giannis versus LeBron. It's gonna happen. It's like you do a match.
And you could like you could treat it like it's like a boxing fight. You know, like it's
great.
Like
Yes,
you can have a Steph Curry versus like a Giannis, and you're like, oh man, Giannis is just gonna back him up or whatever. But you could just have Steph Curry just shooting threes all day. Like it makes it interesting. You don't know who's gonna win, to be honest.
The only thing I think the reason why it wouldn't flow is because of egos. I really think
that's why I want to watch it. I want to see egos,
but that's why I don't think it would work. I don't think they'd go for it. It's because
too
of
many
egos.
injuries?
They don't want to risk getting embarrassed.
Yeah, it's true. That's very true, and I can see that. I could see guys. There's select guys that would be down no matter what. I would put Kyrie, Damian Lillard, and probably Steph in there. Everyone outside of that, I can see exactly what you're saying, Mitch. Like, it's not that they don't think they'd win.
Yeah.
It's that they'd get, like, memed hard, and, like, everyone would always mention it, especially if they got smoked. Like, and it would contribute badly to their, like, when everyone...
Their morale?
talks.
Oh, grow up. You're
No.
an athlete.
Yeah, I know.
No, but not the morale. The conversation when people bring him up on hot take shows is like, is Steph better? Is Steph better than Dame? It's like, well, remember back in the All-Star game when he smoked him? Like, I know.
But then you could say NBA is a team sport. This is just for fun.
Yeah.
Come on.
But like,
I would love to see it.
Yeah, it adds that emotion to it. Like you do the
put a prize
also
in there.
like I would love it if you just put like you put those like if there's like a rivalry narrative, you just pit those against each other.
Yeah.
Like imagine like if it was on the NHL side of it, it's like Drew Doughty versus Matthew Tkachuk. Let's go. Like All-Star game, like 1-on-1.
Well,
like,
they do
excellent.
punching.
They do it in the fastest skater. Right? And, like, everyone's like, ooh, Connor McDavid was a big winner. Ooh, who's going to take him down this year? Why don't they do that with one-on-ones? But and look at who was it? Dylan Larkin, like all the
and he beat him.
But see,
wasn't it Barzell who beat Connor McDavid?
Yeah.
So there you go. Like you got this like rivalry. So every year we're like, okay, it's Barzell this year.
But the thing is, that aspect is just the skating, and it's kind of like the same things. They kind of do that with the skills competition in the NBA too. They kind of did that relay. But if you do a one-on-one, you're legit playing the game of basketball, like as it is. I mean, I don't think you're going to get an NHL defenseman to say, "Hey, yeah, I'll go one-on-one with Connor McDavid in open ice." That sounds like a plan all the time.
I don't know, man. If you guys would just want to just see if they can hit him,
but
Chris Pronger would be like, "Yeah."
I mean, if it's All-Star games, you could do the same way players are getting voted in. Just like have a guard matchup and have a bigs matchup.
It could fan oriented again. If you want to see a one-on-one against Kyrie versus like Harden or something, make it happen. Just like
that's the same thing with the ego thing, man. You think Harden or say LeBron want someone crossing them up and
or like
breaking
Giannis,
their ankles.
Giannis dunking on LeBron.
Yeah, like he wouldn't live that down.
Or even if you get like just a matchup, because it's bound to happen if you do something like this, like Vucevic and like versus LeBron, and it's like just say Vuce dunks on LeBron, like again a meme that would live forever.
Mm-hmm.
I like this idea though. I like thinking.
I like
about
it.
This.
Think about the John Scott thing. Like he got voted in by the fans, and then turned out to be MVP. Scored those amazing goals, and he's probably made a movie on him, which never happened, but it could.
No, they still are. I think
it's gonna happen.
Man, like that was amazing. Like.
If David Ayers is getting a movie, John Scott better be getting a movie.
No, isn't he getting something by Disney?
Yes,
Disney.
Disney, yeah.
Disney are doing a movie.
Josh is a Leafs fan.
Josh.
I'm sure listeners know, but yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Josh, it's the gift that keeps on giving.
It is
That's
really
it, though.
It
Okay, you know what's bad? You know what's bad when they do year anniversaries.
Yes.
Like that just happened. They're like, oh, it's the year anniversary of the David Ayres game. Toronto
But the
lost to an
Zamboni
E-bug.
driver was the winning
Yeah,
goaltender.
yeah. Toronto lost to an E-bug. Like,
I love how much it kills Leafs fans.
I mean,
Oh,
can you
man.
blame
I
him?
think
No.
I think it's like there's the positives and negatives on both extremes.
Oh yeah.
Like Toronto gets
Yeah.
so much attention.
Yeah.
Like on the positives. Like right now it's great. Even when but like the way the season's been going, they lose 3 in a row and it's still like, oh yeah, they're fine. But like on the negative side of it too, it's just a nightmare. Like they keep like just hammering the same negative thing over and over again.
Well, it's like we were saying about the dunk contest. It's like this material that keeps coming to haunt you and has the potential to do that. Yeah.
Oh man.
It's funny, I got that update too. The whole it's like it's a year anniversary. And it was everywhere.
Yeah.
I love
Everywhere.
it.
Yeah, it was everywhere. And
You're
like
that-
it's most of the big outlets, Sportsnet and TSN, and I don't know if the Score is still based out there. They're all digital now, but I'm pretty sure they're based in Toronto, and they were the ones posting the content.
Oh yeah.
That's what it is.
Oh, they're the Toronto media are the first ones to praise them and the first one to tear them a new one. It's a double-edged sword when as a Leafs media
so true.
and team.
Yeah, it's true. Let's talk about something that happened in the past 3 days. No, maybe 2. Yeah, I think it was yesterday. Meyers Leonard of the Miami Heat is in a world of shit, as I would put it, after careless Twitch commentary. So, I'm not sure if anyone in the NHL does it. I mean, it might not.
Yeah.
Who knows? I'm sure.
McKinnon actually does.
Oh, he streams?
Yeah, I think he plays a lot of Fortnite. I feel like he does.
Right on.
And I know there is a nice bit of people. Actually, there was just before they went on the COVID break. McKinnon missed a game, and he was supposed to be out a lot longer. And they didn't know how bad the injury was, but the COVID break came, and he only ended up missing 1 game. But no one knew his update, and they were about to come back from COVID, and he pretty much broke the news that he was good to go on his Twitch stream when someone asked him how his leg was.
Nice.
No, that's cool. I like that though. That's pretty cool.
I mean, it gives players an avenue to connect with your fans, which is great.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Until you drop racial slurs. It's
Yeah.
not very connective. So what it was, I won't mention exactly what he
He
said, but
pulled a Tony D'Angelo.
Yeah.
I won't mention exactly what he said, obviously, but it was an anti-Semitic slur, and it's wild because you watch it. It's your classic ragey 2-year-old gamer response after getting killed in Call of Duty, which is what it was. He got killed and swore out whoever killed him into the ether, and it happened to be that word. And sure enough, 30-ish minutes later, gets a call on stream, mutes himself. The call lasts about a minute. Looking very stern, looking very stone-faced, almost worried. I wonder why. Anyways, he unmutes. All right, guys, gotta log off. The wife needs me. End stream. And I was saying earlier, that's not his wife. That's his agent.
Nah. It's like, you done fucked up.
Yeah, and
Right away.
sure enough, the Miami Heat said that at this moment, I can't remember the exact words, but he's not part of the team at the moment as they do their investigation. So there is that. Guys, got any thoughts on that?
I didn't realize because I read the article, but didn't give a great context like you just did in regards to how it was. It didn't actually seem as big of a deal from what I read.
Wow.
Compared to how you just said it, I didn't realize he was raging out and said something at like in a angry kind of context, because it almost to me, for all I knew, honestly, he could have been just having like a casual conversation and said something like casual that didn't seem like a big deal. Because I was reading a lot of comments too, and all these people were defending him as well. And like just
that's
gonna
America.
cancel culture and stuff and everything like that. So I was like, I didn't really see like I didn't really get the context of what exactly he said either. I didn't do too much diving into that. I just, like you said, it was a racial or anti-Semitic term. But yeah, that's a
It's
bad move.
so like it's even more of a common thing now, and I think it's a good, it's a step in the right direction, just to put an emphasis on how unacceptable like that mentality is. Like
Right.
now you see with Meyers Leonard, like it's just happened with Tony D'Angelo. It's very similar in the same sense. It's like, you know, they get caught in the situation where it's blatant. So then the team all of a sudden begins to start to cut ties. Like they're just like, okay, that's it. You know what I mean? Or like the NHL's like they've been in the news because, well, for the longest time, hockey is a very predominantly white sport, as we've talked about before. Like they're always kind of the last one to the party on like those social changes.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, but like they've had two big stories in the last calendar year regarding this, right? That and the Phoenix one that we talked about a couple pods ago, right? Yeah. So it's kind of nice to now see it like on this side. Like you're saying that Meyers Leonard is getting kind of like the heat are just kind of like coming down hard on him.
Yeah, he's suspended until further notice.
Mm-hmm. So it might. Go ahead, Mitch.
No, I was just gonna say too. There's no avoiding this. He was literally streaming live to fans, and it's recorded and on the internet. I mean, if he was somewhere else and it was like word of mouth that he said something like that or someone confident, that this probably doesn't go very far, to be honest with you. But because it's live in front of people and like he raging at someone and stuff like that, it's just there's no. He got no choice.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's a game. God damn, guys, it's a game.
Yeah,
like
I know.
Like man, keep your
that's the thing. With
shit
true colors.
There's
colors.
There's truly a
true colors.
There's truly a shit culture around, especially obviously the bigger audience of the game, the more players of the game, you'll get shittier people. But games like that and Valorant, which a lot of other pros play, this has a really, really shit culture around it, and it's exactly that. It's like it's being completely childish and digging up racial slurs for shock value with your buddies. Like, come on, man, like grow up. Like seriously, where is the maturity whatsoever, especially when you have an NBA contract? What are you doing?
What? But like really, at the end of the day, what's even funny about that? What's
not one thing? I mean, I'm sure
that's the thing, like
sure juvenile people would argue with you, but
I'll say this one thing. I can understand raging at a game. I'm a rager when it comes to gaming. Stuff like that. I do rage. I'm bad for it. I would someone who is in the spotlight and media and stuff like that, I don't think I would touch anything streaming or catch you in the moment with a 10-foot pole. Right. I mean, if you know you're a bit of a rager, and like he probably didn't mean it. He probably didn't mean what he was saying. He probably has no.
He said he didn't know what the word meant.
Whatever, but he dug deep, and that's what came out because that was the emotion that came out, and that was the word that. Now maybe he is too. Like maybe he's probably maybe just straight up a D-bag too. So I'm not going to defend him.
He has the D-bag look.
Well, I think it's stupid just to. I mean, you're going to catch yourself in the moment, especially if you know you're a raging gamer and you have a tendency to like. There's no way this is the first time ever he's just slipped.
No way.
Like he's definitely said this before, and there's no way he's just. Oh, this is the first time. I never rage at games. I'm like, I mean, if you rage like that and you're like, go on a rant like that or a tyrant, like, I mean, I don't know. Why would you put yourself on that platform? You're going to be scrutinized and dragged.
Oh, man. I rage at video games sometimes. Literally, it doesn't really go beyond, quote, fucking shit, fuck, end quote. That's pretty much it. Like, I don't ever throw out, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That comes from a deeper place.
No, I know. Well, I've been there. I've hawked my controller. Well, not like my controllers across the stuff, and I've sworn at like well, I've never directly sworn at people so they could hear me. I would never do that. Like if I was on mic, I would never swear at someone. I've sworn at myself and at the TV kind of deal.
That's
like
why
that.
I just play RPGs, so I just get mad at myself and not mad at other people.
Yeah,
I just get mad at me.
It's like it was my character that said that.
Yeah, I just picture Mitch now like swearing at himself, like you just said. It's like fucking Mitch, Jesus Christ, it's really better.
To me, I was like a lot of me. It's just like a lot of like fucking idiot this, fucking idiot that kind of deal. You know what I mean? Like, why the fuck did you do that kind of deal?
Yeah.
But it's just like I don't know.
See?
No,
And-
go ahead.
Oh, the sad part is about it. Like, I watched the video and like, it's the strangest thing because it's like he gets killed. He's like, "Oh fuck you," or something along those lines. Then he stops and he's digging in his brain to like
Oh, really?
for a
He's
word.
processing.
So he's
just
like
processing.
Thought, yeah.
N-word. No, shouldn't do that. Something else. No, shouldn't do that. And then that's what comes out. It's like, really, you thought about it for a second, and that
Yeah.
still
That's-
comes out.
That's kind of weird too, man. That's not even like it was
You
just
had
like
the
an automatic
windows loading.
response. If you,
Yeah.
You had the text dots.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's weird because usually that's the cool down moment.
Right.
Because usually
Yeah,
it's snap, you rage, and they're like, okay,
Yeah.
that was a bit childish. Bring it down.
Right.
Not say something. Then what can I say?
And
What's
then
something I
that's
can
the
do?
word that comes out. Like,
Like,
yeah,
that's stupid.
it's exactly. And I mean, I don't know if any of you wants to throw out a prediction of old Meyers, but it's not looking pretty good.
No.
It's I don't. He's probably going to be caught or let go. This is in the midst and the highest, I think. And I don't want to say this as defending him either in calling it.
No,
but
I know what you mean.
This is cancel culture right now. We're in the midst and the height of cancel culture right now.
Yeah.
You cannot get away and do with anything, especially if it's in the now.
No,
You can't get away with stuff anymore that you did in your past that was acceptable back then.
Yeah.
Because it's not acceptable now. It might have been acceptable then. That doesn't matter. People are trying to get canceled for
That's
that.
it, man.
Mhm.
He put himself on a pedestal. I mean, he put himself in a position. I got no sympathy for him. I mean, don't be an idiot.
Yeah.
Like,
I agree, Mitch. Like, we're in a rougher time, and like in that sense, like it's like now, honestly, you got to be careful with the things that you do and the things that you say. But like also too, it's less forgiving on what people's true intentions are, right?
Yeah.
Like the things that you do are supposed to, show who you are as a person, right? Your actions speak louder than words. Well, those are the actions that are going to get you cut from your team. We saw it, like we've been seeing it in the NHL the last like few months. Saw it with Tony DeAngelo, saw it with Mitchell Miller. Now you're seeing it here with Meyers Leonard. So it's probably going to be the exact same thing. I'd be curious to see like what team tries to pick him up next, or if that happens. I don't know how. I don't know the skill level or whatever. But.
Yeah, and I don't know, man. It depends on how it goes, but a lot of times you can't be that team to pick them up because then you look like a crappy team.
Yeah, you're under the microscope then.
Here's a perspective. We just got a guy. Houston Rockets just got a guy, Kevin Porter Jr., who got cut. I don't know if I mentioned this in the first pod or not, but he got cut for being disruptive in the locker room. Someone took his locker after he was away for a little bit, and Torian Prince, I think, took his locker after he was away for a prolonged period of time. Anyways, he saw that his locker was taken. He started flicking shit in the locker room and was really vocal about and in the face of like coaches and stuff like that. They let him go, and then the Rockets picked him up. We have this guy that's really known for rehabbing players' personalities, and this dude's really skilled. And like he's coming into the lineup this week, and we're like as a fan base, we're starving for someone to take us over the level. And I think something like that could happen to Meyers Leonard. He's not nearly as skilled as KPJ, but like I think in a way that like he'll probably get cut. This is my prediction. He'll get cut from the Heat. And then a couple months off, and then some team will be like, acknowledge work that he's done mentally or with some sort of, racial sensitivity program, and then say that they have someone in place that can make him understand better. That's even if he does come back in the league. Who knows?
Receipts. That's what it'll be. It'll be receipts. Yeah.
Or he could go to the NFL and be picked up on a team right away.
Yeah.
Hey, we don't care who we got. Can you play? Come on in.
I'm pretty sure prerequisites is that you have had to have some kind of assault charge.
That's the prerequisite in the NFL.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
No. But yeah, no, I could see. I don't know. I'm not too familiar with the NBA and their leniency on that stuff. And like you said, it all depends on how it goes. And it's honestly, it's going to be dictated by how much attention it gets.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
If this story drags out and people are calling for his head, then that's it. That's it for him.
Right.
If this manages to blow over somehow, get grazed over or missed, then he gets a slap on the wrist and everything's hunky dory.
Yeah.
Leading events of turf, diamond, and gridiron for your entertainment.
Watch this. All right, so we're a little over an hour in, and we have a brand new segment. We're going to use this segment. We're going to tentatively call it the steamy stat of the week, where at least two of us pick up a stat line from a player or historical that they read out that stood out to them from the week, or even if they want to dig deep from something in the past. Anyways, it is time for the steamy stat.
That stat is steamy. The steamy stat.
Is it hot in here? Or is it just me?
Yeah, it's
steamy.
One would say a little bit steamy.
So does anyone want to start off with the steamy stat? Because we all have one.
Oh my god!
It's a treat this week with all these steamy stats. Who wants to start us
off? You want Mitch? You gonna start?
I can if you want. Mine's
I thought I heard Alex say it. I don't know. Maybe it's heard.
Oh no! I might as well now since you put me on the spot. Mine kind of comes into it's a kind of a two-parter stat thing, but Connor McDavid, being Connor McDavid's been kind of put some stats up lately.
Of course he is.
And so first one would be Connor McDavid reaching 500 points. Only 7 players in the league's history. So I think Connor McDavid did this probably a couple weeks ago against the Jets.
Right.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, but there's only 7 players in the league that or in NHL history that have reached 500 points faster than Connor McDavid.
Two of them were Gretzky.
Well, yeah, okay. 2 different times don't count as Gretzky. That's the one. I said there's not 2 Wayne Gretzkys, Josh. Wayne Gretzky, Mario Lemieux, Peter Stastny, Mike Bossy, Eric Lindros, Yari Curry, and Brian Trottier. So, I mean, those are all amazing players.
The company.
Hall of Famers.
That's an insane company.
And those are players we,
in a different era, right? With
different era, yeah, exactly. So completely different era. Like the closest to, what would be the closest to McDavid's era? Would it be Lindros? Would you say?
I wouldn't even say, because like Lindros was borderline like on trap era.
Yeah.
Was he not?
Kinda, I don't know.
Yeah, definitely.
He spent a lot of his years in the trap era. I think we're trending in the NHL back to higher
opening
scoring.
Everything up. Opening
it up. So it's getting closer to I think what the 80s were.
Mm-hmm.
So closer to the Gretzky era, but it's weird. I hate era adjusted stuff because it's just a shot in the dark, and it's like we've had these conversations before. Even Alex, like you and I have always talked about like Muhammad Ali versus like in different times. It's like it's a whole different time. It's a different fighter. You can't really compare those.
Yeah.
Right. It can never really be done. It's the same way in hockey, but at the same time, I can't help but shake the feeling too that like players in this day and age are so much better conditioned. Like there's stronger sports science behind it. They're better athletes that like I would really love to know what Connor McDavid would have done in the 80s.
Yeah.
Like he would just be skating circles around people.
So for those who are unaware, tuning in, like it's broadly accepted that scoring was higher in the 80s, correct?
Oh, by far.
Yeah.
So, man, did you be honest with you? And like, no disrespect to old goalies, actually, probably more respect to them, because if you were a legendary goalie back in the day, man, if you didn't have the gear or the innovative style that the goalies have now to put the pucks out. So if you had
flexibility, you never had it.
Like if you had, and they were all small goalies. It was actually back in the day, goalies. It was actually people. It's funny enough, they actually shied away from bigger goalies because they didn't think they were quick enough and flexible enough. It was actually a lot of smaller goalies back at the older. If you go back and further,
the old stand-up style, right?
Yeah,
the old stand-up style play. So it was only when they introduced the butterfly style that goalies got bigger because it was more mechanical. It was more efficient.
Sense. Right.
It was like you try to take up all the net.
Yeah.
You cut off your angle. You take up as much as possible. Like there's only small little holes that get scored upon. Yeah. You rely on the team to make plays to beat the goalie, one-timer passes and things like that. Whereas back in the day, it could be more individual. It was one player trying to beat the goalie.
Yeah, like you could beat goalies. There's a lot of times you see, and it looks bad now, but like back in the day, a skater comes in, slaps it from the top of the hash marks, and the goalie just kind of kicks at it from standing up, and it beats them. That happens a lot. Which is,
well, you think about it now with goalies with angles. Like they're like, if I just come out, your angle just goes from here to like that thing, right?
So that's a huge thing. But just to continue on McDavid's stat, and I guess that era, I guess the Wayne Gretzky era. So McDavid became on Monday. Became the first player not named Wayne Gretzky to collect his 30th assist before his 30th game multiple times in Oiler history.
Wow,
awesome.
There you go.
So
that's cool.
I mean, anytime you can match or break match a Gretzky a stat or be in a same sentence of Gretzky.
Exactly. It's the company that you're in. Like that's wild.
Yeah.
Now that is a steamy stat. Gotta say.
It's steaming.
Fred, you got a steamy stat?
So recently, Max Domi came up in the Twitterverse about his new stay in Columbus and how he's been in the doghouse with Tortorella already, and it made me think. I was like, "Ooh, this whole steamy stat thing," and it wasn't about Max, but his old man Ty Domi. And anyway, the whole thing was, I was like, "Man, he has to have like stats for fighting or whatever." So just diving in,
you dug in.
I dug in
for the steamies.
I dug into the steam, and I was like, man, just for career fights, I was like, ooh, he has 333 career fights, more than the second place career fights. Like, that's substantial. If you add that up, that's literally like 3,515 penalty minutes. So when you times that by 5, right? Like 5 minutes for fighting, that is like 1,665 minutes, right? So when you do that up, when you do up the math, it turned out that over his career, he actually spent half of his NHL career in the penalty box, which is nuts because when you think about it, when you break it down even further, per game, that means in a 60-minute game, he would actually just sit in the penalty box for 30 minutes. That's mind-boggling, especially for a guy. That's excluding misconducts, tripping penalties. This is strictly fighting.
That's wild.
Really?
That's wild.
And this guy, like, he still scored goals. He still got assists.
Domi was an okay player.
Well, that's
he wasn't a slouch.
That's what's blowing my mind about this, because like you're saying, like, I remember Domi, being Domi and getting in fights, but I didn't think, like, I knew he was up there for fighting, but I didn't think,
333 more fights than the second place guy.
But that's insane.
That's
I can remember Domi, like Josh said, putting some goals in and contributing offensively from time to time. Like, it doesn't seem like, a player that effective would be sitting in the box for that often and that long. But, imagine if he didn't. Yeah, I wonder if he'd have a lot more points.
That's a good point too. That's a good point.
Well, this is
like that.
I just thought about it. Think about, there are fighters out there that just decided to stop fighting, or say even like Brad Marchand. Like, he was always a shit disturber, and then he's like, you know what, I'm gonna back it up. And then I don't know where he was like, he's actually a superstar. He's actually a really good.
he's
an asshole.
Really good.
Don't deny, guys. You would all want him on your team. So
I like that. Like, it's funny you say that, Fred, because it's true. Like when like Marchand, like early on in his career, and when Boston won their cup, like, he wasn't a superstar player.
No.
Like, he was like that auxiliary top 6 guy, like, but he would get like maybe 50 points in a season. You know what I mean? Like, he was okay. He was good. Like, he was still a good player. But like now, like, like he dialed it back a little bit on the rattiness, and now he's like a top, he's a top 20 scorer in the NHL.
Still get 90 points every season.
Consistently puts up over a point per game. Like, he's a wicked player.
Yeah. Licking people and shit. That's another stat. He actually holds the record
most
for licking
licks per 60.
Licking the most people in the NHL. He actually holds that stat. You look it up.
Yeah.
I want to know who's keeping track of that. It's like it's one dude like on the sideline who has a piece of paper, and he's specifically like licking as he's turning the page. Or he has a button for licks.
I'll never forget watching that game.
That's
like,
the cool
in the
tech of
playoffs,
this week.
Do you remember, guys? I'm so sorry. Do you remember that Halloween costume where the guy dressed up as Brad Marchand had the cutout and he was just licking people with his
Like a big tongue. Yeah.
Oh, I'm dead. I'm dead. It was so funny.
The old tongue.
Josh, you got a stat? You got a steamy stat?
So mine's not skill related by any means.
Great.
I think we're kind of slowly shifting this way, but we're going to talk about suspensions in the NHL. And I just figured because it was very recent news that Tom Wilson got suspended for his hit on Brendan Carlo. 7 games, which is definitely like, and I don't think technically the NHL gave him repeat offender status. They just gave him 7 games for being Tom Wilson, making an illegal hit. Like, because I think that's the way it is in the NHL too. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mitch or Fred, if you know, like they actually like assign you repeat offender status.
I thought I heard him slip something in about him being a repeat offender.
Okay, so maybe he is. But either way, the funny thing about this is I just wanted to kind of mention this in passing because it was said on another podcast that I'm actually going to kind of plug right now. But it was the Steve Dangle podcast. They brought this up, and it was a Steve Dangle stat saying, like, this is the first time in history, regardless of the fact that it was an illegal hit and it was dangerous and it was obvious intent to injure. This is the first time in history that someone has ever gotten suspended for a boarding call, or that's the reason why boarding of a player facing you. So usually any boarding suspension is hitting from behind. Yeah. This is the first time ever that a player has come in and laid a hit like shoulder to into a corner face to face, and that's the first time ever someone's been suspended for a hit like that in the corner.
Yeah,
it's never happened.
Wow.
They
never
actually
happened.
Good one. That's
they
a good
used a different rule to suspend them this time than compared to the normal headshot rule and everything like that. They actually had to, I think they had to rule like 43 points something whatever, and compared to the other one. And I think because this one was actually just it was boarding. This is a boarding suspension. Essentially. Yeah. This is not a headshot suspension. It's a boarding suspension.
Yeah, it's really weird. So it's like one of those weird gray area NHL rule ones. So they're making an example out of him. They're saying like, man, that's a dangerous hit. You shouldn't have done it. But it's like it falls in between the rules. Like it's a weird gray area one.
Right.
So, yeah.
Nice. Love it.
So just throwing that out there. Weird.
Great stat.
That's a good one. Good stat. Solid stat. For the final steamy stat, we got 4 this week. That's a lot of steamy stats. Is mine. It's from the Indiana Pacers' TJ McConnell. He notched his second triple-double. You wouldn't think of a guy like TJ McConnell to notch some triple-doubles, but that's his second one of the season. It's not the triple-double. It's how he got it. So for anyone who doesn't know, that's listening, a triple-double is a double-digit in 3 different categories.
Yeah.
99% of the time, assists, points, rebounds.
And rebounds. Yeah.
So steals? Did he get some steal action?
So TJ McConnell, he finished with 16 points, 13 assists. Very, very solid numbers.
No way.
10 steals.
Wow.
10.
Sick.
Yeah.
10 steals.
That's defensive player of the year.
That's incredible.
That's so difficult. That's so like you hear guys stealing the ball, but like you're usually getting like 2 or 3, but 10.
Well, here's the thing. TJ McConnell, I didn't know this until I looked it up. He actually leads the league in steals per game at 2 per game.
Oh, wow. So that's the average.
That's the high.
Not even the average.
That's the high.
Wow.
And I think Drew Holiday is second with like 1.8 or something like that. But
he ain't catching them now.
10. 10 steal game. I would say that like when I checked afterwards, that 10 probably like put him up on the top. Who knows? But anyways, the record for steals in a game is 11. So
who holds that record?
Who holds it?
I don't have the name offhand, but it's 11 steals, and he came just 1 shy. And here's another thing: he actually had 4 rebounds and a block in there as well in 36 minutes. So that's a crazy stat line.
Solid stat.
He had a great
game.
That's a crazy stat line. Unreal. It's like a Draymond Green kind of stat line.
Yeah, TJ McConnell, also to add to it, because I was really curious. He sets the NBA record with 9 steals in first half.
Yes, I was gonna add that in there. He had 9 steals in the first half, 5 in the first quarter. Like, are you kidding me? That's
Man, he ate his Wheaties that night for sure.
absolutely, yeah, for sure. I guess we'll wind it down and just quickly look at the NBA's earned jerseys. They released these, I think, officially today. And
Okay.
I'm gonna look at them right now.
Can I say something right off the bat? I didn't realize until after looking at these that these were called earned jerseys. So these are literally just bubble team jerseys, right?
yeah, because you earn them by getting in the playoffs.
I'm not gonna
Wow.
lie. I think that's so stupid. That's so stupid. I think you're cutting yourself short from a business standpoint,
Yeah,
NBA wise, and two, you're just gonna piss off fans.
yeah. Like, how is that incentive? Like, it's like you gotta make the playoffs. It's like, what do we do if we make playoffs? You get a jersey.
You get a free jersey.
I don't think the players care that much.
No.
And if you're gonna dial out the stuff like what you gave the Heat, that's incentive not to make the playoffs.
So let's say our favorites. So we have the picture in front of us here now. It's easy to find
I
online.
got it.
I gotta say, I mean, I'm a Rockets fan. I really like their kit. Is it my favorite?
No.
I would say
No.
either
No.
the Raptors or the Bucks is my favorite.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Alex.
Yeah.
Same thing.
I think the Raptors and the
Yeah.
Bucks. I love when the Raptors wear purple. I think it's awesome. I'm not huge on the arrow for the North, but it's a
No, I
two-tone
don't like it.
jersey. I think it's mostly the color that I like more than anything.
Yeah, the green, yellow.
I do really like the Celtics as well.
The Celtics is
I like the Jazz one.
I like the Jazz one as well. I actually think that one's nice.
Yeah.
Now, I feel like the Magic just mailed it in. It's like, here it is. Here's our logo. The Clippers, same.
Nets, dude.
Yeah, that's just nice because it has like a little texture in there, like the waves.
I
Okay,
hate the
I didn't
lettering.
see that. That's what I mean. I didn't like the lettering. It looked like
looks
it was
like
like
some kinda,
Times
like-
New Roman.
Like a printer. Like, yeah, it looks like a Word document.
It's like Times New Roman. Net.
Yeah.
I think the Blazers had a missed opportunity. They should have
Now,
really like punched.
Here's a comment that I found hilarious about the Blazers. Someone retweeted it and said, "It looks like they didn't unlock the Blazers jersey yet."
Yeah,
Because
Yeah,
it's just
there you go.
great. It's grayed
Yeah.
out.
It's still
It's
unlocked.
weird. It's very weird.
Or
It's
still
like when
unlocked.
you click on the printer and it had no color left. You're like, no, well, it is
Yeah.
what it is.
Print
Just
it
print it.
anyway.
Yeah,
Just
Same with the
print it
Clippers.
anyway.
I'll pass this in, I guess.
Clippers is pretty bland too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just gonna
I
say
do. Go ahead, Mitch.
no. I can't. Actually, never mind. Go ahead. I can't
Yeah,
remember
I
what
was
I was
gonna
gonna say.
So the ones that popped up to me that I actually liked, other than the Jazz, I like the Jazz one. I like the Thunder.
Right.
And I
they
like
got the
the
orange socks,
Nuggets.
by the way.
That's cool. That adds to it for me. But I also like the Nuggets.
Yeah.
I like the Nuggets jersey.
I found the color scheme a bit weird on the Nuggets logo.
Yeah.
Different.
I think so too.
I like the logo.
Love
I
the
just-
pickaxes.
I don't like you said.
Yeah.
I don't like the color scheme.
Yeah. I love when they put
And I like the
pickaxes.
Pacers. I like the
I-
Pacers yellow.
I usually don't like pinstripes for like the Magic, and I think the Bulls had them at some point. But when the Pacers do it, I love it. I love that jersey. It just reminds me of Reggie Miller, one of my favorite players.
Yeah.
Alex, just the only thing I was gonna say, we're going back to the Bucks jersey. Like what me and you probably both love about it are the antlers going
Yeah.
up the sides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks sick. My only concern would be how it comes off in real life.
Even
know,
from
when
a
you get the
side
fat-
profile.
With the side profile, are you going to see it with the arms blocking it? But also with the
Yeah.
when the fabric starts moving and your jersey's getting out of
Yes.
shape and space and stuff like that, does it just look weird? So that's
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a good point too.
it's got a potential to, the intention is there, but
I like it.
it's just
You know
I just
what?
I just
Like-
picture Sean Kemp and like Gary Payton. Be sick.
The
I was gonna say like with that, like I feel like if it had like the colors were just a bit more vibrant, it would look a bit better.
for the Bucks one.
Yeah.
Gonna
Yeah,
have that
it's very-
cream, bro.
it's very bland Bucks colors. Yeah,
Like
but
the
still.
now the Sixers is like dirty cream. Like it looks like it's not washed. Hey man, you can put cream in your jersey if it's now. The Bucks went by Cream City one year. They actually had that on a jersey, which is ridiculous. They had that on a jersey. It said Cream City. So
why?
Not sure about that.
I'ma take you to Cream City.
I just saw
Josh.
the Blazers again. I just couldn't get over the fact that that's the one unlocked jersey.
Yeah.
Of all these, like I'm looking at all of them, like
Yeah, you didn't beat the last level, so you can't have your Blazers jersey.
We didn't mention the Suns. The Suns retro jersey, like you got a real
it's
retro
not there,
vibe
is
to
it?
it.
It's not there. Huh. Is it?
The Suns
breaking-
retro jersey is really nice.
Breaking Score Mobile news.
Oh, go for it.
Now. Lowry says he'll retire a Raptor.
Yeah, I saw that that he was going to.
He said no matter what, like he would want to do a 1-day contract at the end.
Yeah, he was denying the rumors of him being moved actually as well.
Yeah.
We'll close it off
whatever
with the pick and roll real quick. So, for those unfamiliar with it, drop the pick and roll. You pick a topic or you roll away from it. So, let's get into it.
Oh shit! I don't know.
Hey, bro! Hey!
I like the pick and roll. I like the give and go.
Answer the question. Freak out, yo!
So, on the pick and roll remaining topics this week, I'll read them, and I guess you snag them from me if you want to say something. So, Levine's warm-up dunk for the All-Star game was better than every dunk in the All-Star contest. Not sure if any of you saw that, but I truly believe that that's the case. Candace Parker made Shaquille O'Neal look dumb once again on TNT. Shaq continues to be a casual as he has no awareness of what modern basketball seems to be about.
So casual. He's so casual.
He is.
Casual O'Neal.
Reeves. Now, Ryan Reeves and who? Gabriel? My bad. I'm sorry, I can't retrieve the name. Dropped the gloves to fight right at the second period. Hang on.
Love
now.
it.
Hang on now.
Golden Knights.
Anyways, another Ryan Reeves fight.
I'm watching
Dropping the
now.
gloves right at the beginning of a period. We can go back to it if you want to take it.
Oh yeah, they that one there. That was like an old school hockey fight that they literally just kind of gave each other the nod and said, "Let's go."
Yeah.
Like
I
you just see him. Oh yeah, it was good. It was good.
Gabriel didn't even actually look at where the puck was being dropped. He was just facing Ryan Reeves the whole time, and then the puck dropped.
Ready
and
to
just
go.
kind of slowly took their gloves off, dropped the stick,
Nice.
and went at it.
It was all planned. It was staged.
Yeah.
I saw the video.
Oh,
Big knockout. Nice.
Knockout.
Can't say. I mean, I wouldn't say very many people are surprised that Reeves got the win there, but yeah.
A monster. He's a monster. Speaking of Reeves.
Speaking of Reeves, Sharks.
I was going to say
Evander
the
Kane.
next. Yeah, exactly. Because I know Evander Kane and Ryan Reeves hate each other, but this was a big thing coming out today. The talk now about the Sharks and Evander Kane mutually terminating his contract.
Can you imagine?
It's coming up again now because. Huh?
I was saying
What
he
does that
can't afford that to happen.
Well, that's the thing, right? Because he's fighting bankruptcy right now. So they're saying because of that, like his contract's tied to whatever loans or debt that he owns or he owes to whatever outlets that are there, that it's almost beneficial for him to just terminate his contract with the Sharks and then sign another one.
Oh, really?
Just like that. Yeah.
But then a team would
Because
take him. Another team would take him.
Well, maybe because he would be a free
He-
agent.
yeah, so he can go to a Stanley Cup team, be like, anyway, peace out, San Jose.
Bye.
I'm gonna go Tampa.
Yeah.
Go to Tampa,
Yeah.
man. It's just as warm. But you know what?
He's going to Toronto.
He's
Fighting
gonna go to
bankruptcy?
Toronto.
No, he's not
It's
going to
cold
Toronto.
up there.
He's not going there.
Fighting bankruptcy? Seriously?
Man,
Yeah,
he has so much debt. Like gambling.
Wow.
Alex, you'd be kind of familiar, might ring a bell with Evander Kane. Well, one, he's named after Evander Holyfield.
Mhm.
He's grown up in the whole like kind of boxing vibe kind of environment. Like that's I think he's a bit of a boxing family.
Yep.
He's a huge you've seen him. He's a Floyd Mayweather, huge Floyd Mayweather fan. He's after shaving like TMT.
Pretty sure he has a
into his head and
boxing
stuff like
tattoo
that.
on his back.
Yeah. So
he does.
And there's like photos of him in Vegas, like holding up like bricks of cash to his head, like as a phone, very Floyd Mayweather kind of style.
Right.
And I think that's the kind of the lifestyle he might have been living. You can't say one way or the other, but I mean,
just
you gotta
without having
wonder.
the same income.
Yeah.
Yeah, not quite what you should be at on NHL salary. I mean, I'm sure.
No.
Hey, some players can do that, but obviously there's a lot more that goes on behind the scenes, like you said, gambling. You know, that's a shame. Shaq had his debut with AEW wrestling, got put through a table. It's kind of cool. Hey, there's a lot of shit going on with Shaq right now. People chirping him. I mean, it's well deserved. But I thought those wrestling highlights were kind of cool.
Man, he went through the tables. I like how they had set up 2 tables where he's so big.
Yeah.
Just to make sure to get the the point across that he went through a table.
Yeah.
But it was like that was perfect. I mean, he didn't have to do much. He just had like gravity do its work. But
right.
Cody Rhodes did a diving like body splash on him over on the apron, and they went down over through 2 tables. I mean, it came out perfectly.
He has the personality for it. So I mean,
yeah. He's always been in that line. I think he's had some works with WWE as well in the past as well. Yeah. AEW is kind of taking that over now too. Sure, they even had Snoop Dogg working with him for a bit there and did a frog splash off the top rope a little while ago. It was so bad, but he did one.
Hey, fuck it, it's awesome.
Mark Scheifele had a video that went a little bit viral on Twitter the other day where he was doing a rant on analytics. It's the classic, to some degree, old man. Very I think a lot of us here are like, yeah, you can have feel of the game and you can have analytics and you can appreciate both. It's fine, but he was on the side of like, analytics are stupid. They don't mean anything. If you get too caught up with analytics, you don't know hockey.
The term he used that blows my mind. Like, I'm sure you could be a hockey player, and especially like someone like Mark Scheifele, who's known or who's like garnered a reputation thus far as being like a student of the game.
Right.
You could be like that kind of, like to be like, I discount. Like, I don't really think about analytics, but he called them hogwash, which is pretty funny because
that's why that word was trending. I didn't know he used the word hogwash.
Yeah, he used the word hogwash. So which is kind of funny because it's like you can go as far as to be like, I don't really pay attention to discrete analytics, like specific analytics, but they're not hogwash. Like, there's explanation behind all advanced stats.
Yes, for sure.
And I find them. Go ahead, Mitch.
No, I was gonna say I think there is a lot of players that have a bit jaded towards analytics because I find a lot of times media especially use it to attack players and when not show some stuff, and like Alex said, you got a lot of the old people and like the argument will be, well, it doesn't account for heart and effort and hustle, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it doesn't show for that, and I agree with that. I think a lot of players have a bit of jadedness towards analytics because it can be used to weigh them down and attack them, especially when they're struggling. You don't hear anything talking about analytics a lot of time. If a player's struggling, it's more if they're not struggling, it's more when they are struggling to kind of point out where they're struggling or what they might be doing. Right. So you get it's a lot more time. It's analytics is used more on a people analyzing the game. I guess it's called analytics for a reason, but it's management or scouts or media is huge in it, and I guess that's why there might be a bit of animosity towards the analytics side of things from a player standpoint.
Also, sometimes to view a player's contribution or dismiss it completely because it doesn't line up with analytics. That drives me crazy a little bit too.
Right.
Like, you look at certain players that, maybe their advanced shot metrics aren't off the chart or anything, right? But they still contribute to the game in other ways. And you can see that. You're watching your team play and you're like, man, they've been having a great season or something. But their advanced shot metrics or whatever aren't there, like their shot shares. And you're like, well, that's when you look at it, they're providing that, they're providing something the team doesn't have. But then all of a sudden, say, for example, that thing goes away. Yeah. Then they just look like one of the worst players on a worst contract. Because, then all of a sudden, like you're saying, Mitch, all those advanced stat guys come out and be like, yeah, they're terrible. They look terrible. And look at their, shot shares.
Right.
They're being, caved in whenever they're on the ice. It's I think there's some give and take. I think there needs to be a balance when it comes to advanced stats.
Oh, absolutely.
You have to look. There has to be an eye test mixed with it. I don't think you need to discount either one of them. I think you need to be kind of blended together, and it's all about kind of finding that balance.
Yeah. Next up, we got we have an NHL star's mom. Is that right? NHL star's mom donates kidney to to an influential arena manager, which is a nice heartfelt story there.
Yeah, so it was Ryan O'Reilly, captain of
this.
the St. Louis. So the
his
arena
mom?
manager, arena manager
Cool.
required a kidney transplant, and she was like, man, she was a candidate or whatever, and she did it. Like, how awesome is that?
Yeah,
like, that's a really nice feel good story.
It was his arena manager that let him have extra ice time or something like that.
Yeah. So you think about Ryan O'Reilly. He's going to be like, Team Canada, like badass man. And then she was like, man, man, I'm a candidate. That's awesome. I like that.
I love that little story. That's a nice one.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, we have a downer of a story with the passing of Walter Gretzky and Chris Schultz from Chris Schultz from TSN and Walter Gretzky, obviously the father of Wayne Gretzky.
The father of Canada.
Those were two of a bummer. I mean, not much else to say besides it was.
I'm sure everyone touched on that. So
it
was a downer. Now it's bad that I'm laughing, but there was a situation that happened at ESPN Columbia. Thank God the dude is okay, but holy shit! What a clip
today! I saw it today, man.
I tried to watch this today and I couldn't.
Oh, you haven't seen it yet, Josh?
I put it. I went on YouTube. I'm watching it right now. Half speed. Did you guys do this? Just put it half speed on YouTube.
Josh's live reaction.
Yeah, this is my live reaction. I'm literally looking at. He's just about to sit down.
Far left.
Oh my god!
He gets folded.
The time. Okay, the time cut between he just sits down and it happens, and then it cuts to the guy's face who just sits down.
Yeah.
Now,
and all you
watch
hear
this video at half speed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But all you hear is tranquillo, tranquillo, which means I'm pretty sure it's calm down, it's okay, or everyone keep calm, and it's like how do you keep calm with something that happened?
Yeah.
It's like a fixture comes down.
It's like the fixture. It's like the wall.
It was the entire wall. And it was like a metal wall. He hit hard. It looked like he was okay.
I honestly, looking at that clip, because me were saying, I feel bad laughing. It's it looked like he died.
Do it. Put it at half speed.
I don't know how he was, but he's okay. He did a little clip after saying he was okay.
Yep.
Talking, and I was just like, what?
Are you kidding me?
It's nuts. The host just calmly finishes the show.
Yeah.
UFC fighters get knocked out and they're like, I'm okay. Get out of here.
You have no excuse. Get back to the desk.
Yeah.
Back to the desk.
It's brutal. It's a brutal clip. Brace yourself before you take a look at it, but I'm pretty sure if you search ESPN Columbia
dude.
set, you'll find it. Yeah, pretty brutal.
So I just watched it at half speed as Fred recommended, and that's rough. He literally folds and then his head bounces off of the table.
Yeah.
I hope he's all right.
I hope
he's all right. He's good, he said.
Thank God.
Sorry. As you were explaining that, I was watching it happen in slow motion.
It's all good. Last but not least for the pick and roll topics, we have Lowry is frustrated with the trade rumors, and there certainly has been a lot of them surrounding him. Apparently he's off the trade market, as said by him and insiders. So, take what you will.
I think you kind of touched on it earlier that he said you said the score announcement said he'll retire as a Raptor.
Josh did, yeah.
So so I think it's kind of obvious. This seems like that he doesn't want to go anywhere else. He's content in Toronto, and it's probably frustrating that his name's being floated around there, especially when he doesn't want to go anywhere. So that's probably where it's coming from. I think he's pretty set on being there.
I think it's obvious now at this point. He's going to be considered the greatest Toronto Raptor of all time.
Yeah.
Because he might not have the stats as certain players that have played for Toronto, not at the same point, but he brought a championship there. And as someone who was obviously a leadership component. And
I like him as the greatest Raptor. I do. You saw people say Kawhi, but it doesn't make sense.
No,
Kawhi's the greatest. He was probably the greatest, the
best player,
the best player that was on the Raptors ever. Yeah.
Not the greatest Raptor ever, the best player to play in a Raptors uniform.
Yes.
Exactly.
And I think it's a runaway with Lowry for the greatest Raptor
it's
ever,
obvious.
I think.
It's obvious.
Yeah. Just to be said too, I don't know if Lowry it might be tough, but I can't see what's the Toronto Raptors GM again? What's his name?
Masai Ujiri.
Yes, Masai. If Lowry doesn't want to go anywhere, I honestly cannot see Masai forcing him out either.
However, remember what happened to DeMar DeRozan?
True. Now,
but no, I know what you're saying.
That was worth it.
Yeah. That was worth it. I don't know if you're not gonna get that chance again. I don't think with Lowry.
Yeah.
And I think DeMar kind of, with his performance in the playoffs, kind of ran the patience a little thin.
I think, without a doubt. I think Lowry's last year of his contract, it was one of those like legacy contracts, and it's something like $40 million or something like that, some crazy number. Like, the more I think about it, it's like, who's gonna pick that up?
No, it's gonna be tough to trade for it. You might the only way it could be is it might be near the Lowry's kind of getting ready to just probably end of his career, retire, call it quits.
Yeah.
And a team wants a good rental player to kind of give him a little push and bolster up a championship. So he might be fine make a championship run quick with a team, not stay there though for the rest of the year. Just just a little field trip down south.
There you go. Go back home to Philly for a year or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, that ends the podcast this week. Oops. I rolled the eggs a little bit too quick. That ends the podcast this week. We ran quite a bit longer. Really appreciate you guys sticking around and talking sports. As always, follow us on Spotify, subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Twitter. We've been pumping out some content. We've been promoing the YouTube content, which has also been red hot. More Cracked That Packs coming your way. But other than that, we will see you next week, likely with the full squad. Bye-bye. Have a great evening.
Yeah.
Peace.